Life will knock you down. It will laugh in your face. It will hit you when you are trying your hardest to live for Jesus. Life does not discriminate. It doesn't care who you are, how much you've accomplished, or how hard you try. But it is precisely in those moments that you need to say, "You know what? I'm getting up again. I am not going to quit. Even if I get knocked down 9 times, I'll get up 10 times. I refuse to give up." As the great theologian Rocky Balboa once said, it's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. The devil will strike at you. Life will test you. But even if I get knocked down, praise God, I will get back up again. I am not quitting. Yes, you will fall. Yes, you will mess up. But God will always be there to pick you up, dust you off, and set you back on the right path. If you belong to Jesus, He has promised never to leave you or forsake you, even when you stumble and fall. Whatever comes my way, I don't want to face it, but I'm not afraid because I know that I have a God who will pick me up and carry me home. God said in Isaiah, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned." Notice that God doesn't say He'll keep us out of every fire or away from every flood. No, He says we will face challenges, adversities, and circumstances we don't understand. But the key to this verse is that He promises to be with us in the fire, in the flood, in the famine. Isn't it a greater testimony that God stayed with you in the fire and brought you through it, rather than simply keeping you out of the fire? There are over 6,000 promises in the Bible, and one of the most powerful is in Isaiah 43 verse 2. It says, "When you pass through the deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you." God is with us, and He loves us deeply. You are never in it by yourself. You are never alone. I would rather walk with God with none of my questions answered than walk through life without Him and know all the answers. King David said, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." When you know that God is with you, when you invite Him into your situation, you'll find yourself able to smile in the midst of difficulty. You'll be able to sing songs of praise even in the prison, just like Paul and Silas. You won't be complaining about the trouble or worrying about when things are going to work out. Instead, you'll find peace in the midst of the storm. You have to do what David did. Say, "Father, thank you that you are with me right here in this valley. I'm not going to live in fear. I won't be consumed by worry. I may not see a way out, but I know that you have already made a way for me." It's that certainty, the absolute assurance that God is with us, that makes all the difference. He promises, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." When you and I are walking through the darkest times, the first and most important thing to remember is this: God is with us. Friend, God is always ahead of us. He has everything under control, and He is working everything out according to His perfect timing. Every single thing has a purpose. As He promises in Hebrews 13 verse 5, "I will never leave you and I will never abandon you." Maybe you've been abandoned by a spouse, a friend, or even a parent. Maybe you've experienced rejection. But let me assure you, God will never abandon you. God will never reject you. It is impossible for Him to forget about you. Isaiah 49:15 says, "Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Think about that. God has engraved you on the palms of his hands. Some people get tattoos to remember a loved one. God has a tattoo of you. Where did he get that tattoo? On the cross, with nails driven through his hands. That's how much he loves you. He loves you so much it hurts. He loves you so much, he'd rather die than live without you. We can live in peace, even when life doesn't make sense, because we know that God is with us and that he will never stop loving us or forget us. When he's with you, you cannot be defeated. You and God are always the majority. He is a supernatural God. He's not limited by the fire, the floods, or the famines. What should have taken you out cannot stop your destiny. The obstacles you face may be too much for you, but they are not too much for our God. Right now, he is pushing back the forces of darkness. He's keeping the fire from burning you. He's not letting the waters drown you. He is your protector, your deliverer, your waymaker, your healer, and your provider. You don't have to figure everything out on your own. You don't have to know all the details. You just have to walk by faith, not by sight, knowing that he is right there with you. He has promised that everything is going to work out for your good. Yes, the waves may be big, but you have an advantage. The God who controls the universe is right there with you. Jesus is with you in this difficult moment in your marriage, in this trying time in your finances, in the struggles you face at work, in your relationships, in whatever challenge you are facing. When you look back, you'll see God's fingerprints all over your circumstances. You'll see his footprints in the sand as you realize he was walking beside you all along. What others might call coincidences, you'll recognize as divine encounters. God's sovereign hand directing your steps and putting you in the right place at just the right time. That's the manifest presence of God. He will never leave you nor forsake you.